Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, I want to thank you for that magnificent tribute, but weren't you over that big hero you were talking about? Treacherous icebergs, terrifying monsoons. Hey, I've never even tracked a monsoon. Although I saw one once at a zoo.
Jack, you're thinking of a mongoose.
That's what I mean, Don. You see, during the First World War, I was a jerk that happened to be in a sailor suit. That's all. And say, Don, I haven't seen you since we went off the air a week ago Sunday. What have you been doing with yourself?
Well, Jack, I'm going to start a picture in a few weeks, so I thought I'd take off some weight working on my ranch.
Oh.
You know, I've lost 2 pounds off my stomach already.
Off your stomach, eh?
Uh-huh.
Well, Don, if you look back over your shoulder to see if your heels are run down, on the way you may come across those 2 pounds. If you want to lose weight, brother, you better diet.
I guess you're right. By the way, Jack, what have you been doing since our last broadcast?
Well, you know how tired I was after my illness and everything, so I went to Palm Springs and got out in that old sun for a few days. Don't you notice the tan on my face, Don?
Yes, you do have a nice color, Jack, but what are those round white spots just above your eyebrows?
The white spots? Oh, that's Rochester's fault. He's so careless.
Why? What happened?
Well, you see, I was taking a sun bath, and I gave Rochester $50 to go out and buy me some cigars. And when he came back, I was asleep, so he laid the change on my forehead. 3 dimes. That accounts for the pawn shop effect. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. My goodness, where have you been?
Oh, I took a little trip to Palm Springs. Don't I look good?
I'll say. You look 50 years younger.
You mean 15?
I know what I mean.
Well, I really feel swell. Take it from me, Don, for a healthy vacation, there's nothing like a week in Palm Springs.
Ah, you're right, Jack. It's wonderful. What hotel did you stay at?
Hotel? Well, I didn't exactly stay at a hotel. You see, Don, I sort of wanted to rough it, be close to nature. You know, get right out there in the desert.
Where'd you live, in a gopher hole?
No, I didn't live in a gopher hole.
Don't tell me you went to that same dump you stayed at the last time.
Mary, if you can call the Happy Hour Auto Court a dump, then I give up. In the first place, it's got a nice, homey atmosphere.
Any place you hang your hair is home to you.
Don't listen to her, Don. The Happy Hour is really one of the nicest auto courts west of the Mississippi.
Who runs it, Jack?
I told you, Happy Hour, Miss Hour's brother. Oh, it's a lovely spot.
And it's right in Palm Springs, huh?
Well, it's not right in Palm Springs, is it, Mary?
No, it's closer to Boyle Heights.
It is not. Don, you must have passed it lots of times. Look, when you leave Riverside, you turn off that side road where the barbecue stand is. You know the one that has that little red-headed cashier?
Oh, you mean Babette?
Yes. She's a... Well, anyway, you turn off on that road, and on the left-hand side is the auto court. Oh, you can't miss it.
Oh, I know. It's that place right next to the goat farm.
That's it. That's the place. When there's a west wind, you get $1 off your rent. I only had one lucky night. And listen, Don, if you want to live in a nice, refined place, you stop at the Happy Hour.
But, Jack, isn't it a little too far from Palm Springs?
Why, no, it's only a 10-minute walk.
Go on, it's 15 minutes to the bathroom.
Not if you know the shortcut. And by the way, Don, they have a lunchroom at the Happy Hour, and here's a little tip for you. If you happen to go into the lunchroom, don't order the number 4 breakfast.
Why not?
Because it's $0.10 more than the number 3. And the only difference is that on the number 3 breakfast, the girl always says, "We're out of ham." But on the number 4 breakfast, she says, "We're out of ham, sorry." I found that out the first day.
Tell them about the waffles they serve, Jack.
Oh, well, that's just a novelty.
What about the waffles, Mary?
They've got numbers on them so you can play bingo till your eggs come.
Listen, Mary, it's those little touches that make Happy Hour's place unique.
Say, Mr. Benny, doesn't it seem strange broadcasting on a...
Oh, hello. Hello, Dennis.
Hello. Say, Mr. Benny, doesn't it seem strange broadcasting...
How do you feel, kid?
Oh, I feel fine now.
That's good.
But I sure got stinking last night.
Stinking?
I fell in a manhole.
Oh, well, for a minute, kid, I thought you meant you'd been drinking.
Gosh, no. I promised my mother I wouldn't drink till I was 21.
Well, how old are you now?
She won't tell me. Mr. Benny, doesn't it seem strange broadcasting on Friday night instead of Sunday?
Yes, it does, Dennis. And tonight we're doing a guest broadcast for a different product, too. By the way, Dennis, do you smoke Camel cigarettes?
I sure do, and before that I used to roll my own.
Oh, roll your own like a cowboy, eh? That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, the grape nuts flakes kept falling out all the time.
Well, I should have my head examined for not telling you to sing the minute you walked in. You might as well do it now.
Are you disappointed in me, Mr. Benny?
No, you're stupid and you came through. That's disappointed. Now go ahead and sing your song.
Oh, pardon me, Jack. Haven't you forgotten something?
Oh, yes. Hold it, Dennis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a word from Wen Niles.
Wen Niles? Say, aren't you a little confused, Jack? We had the Hope Show last week. I'm Ken Niles.
Oh, well, tell me, Ken, are you Wen Niles' brother?
Well, I'm not sure. I have so many brothers. You see, there's Yen, Glenn, Len, Ben, and Titikatum.
Titikatum?
Yes, T is for Titikatum. And also for taste and throat.
Oh, I see what you're getting.
Your own T-zone proving ground for Camel's rich extra flavor and smooth extra mildness.
You mean your mother actually named her children Ken, Yen, Len, Glenn, and Ben?
Yes, Jack. First Yen was born, and Mom said, "Oh, dear, now I've got an awful yen."
I see. Ooh.
And if you, too, have an awful yen for a cigarette that won't go flat, no matter how many you smoke, get Camel. Because Camel's extra flavor helps them to hold up pack after pack. Now, after yen came blend.
Blend? What does that mean? Well, I thought Don Wilson was corny. Go ahead.
I don't know what blend means in a baby, but in a cigarette, the blend means everything.
I see.
Camels, of course, are a matchless blend of costlier tobaccos. And that's why they're so cool smoking and slow burning.
C-A-M-E-L-S.
Camels, get a pack tonight.
Thanks, Ken. And now let's have your song, Dennis.
You could hear a pin drop there in the crowd. One look at you, first thing I knew, I stumbled on a cloud. Softly as a raindrop that's falling from a treetop, I listened to my heart drop right there before you. What a lovely meeting there in the heart. I felt a thrill, one that I still can't brush aside. Hey, hello, not how else has anything explained it? Or you could hear a pin drop when love dropped in.
That was You Could Hear a Pin Drop, sung by Dennis Day. And very good, Dennis. Take a bow.
Will I take it?
Oh, sit down. And now, folks, going from the ridiculous to the nauseating. Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Sorry I'm late, pal. I bet you thought I'd never get here.
I prayed for it. Well, tell me, Phil, how do you like broadcasting on Friday for a change?
I don't know. How much change am I going to get? That Harris is phenomenal with a capital F tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You corny. But on the level, Phil, don't you think Sunday is a pretty blank day now that all the comedians are off for the season?
What do you mean, all the comedians? Fred Allen is still broadcasting.
Phil, calling Allen a comedian is like slipping a rocking chair under Gypsy Rose Lee and calling her Whistler's mother. Allen, a comedian. Look, fellas, anybody can get laughed with that stuff Fred Allen does every week. Take that Allen's Alley, for instance. There's nothing to it.
What do you mean there's nothing to it?
I mean, it's a surefire formula. Now, look, every Sunday he goes around, knocks on doors, and asks a question. I'll show you. Give me that clothespin.
What are you going to do, Jackson?
I'm going to put it on my nose and make off like Fred Allen and take a trip to Benny's Boulevard. Now, Mary, you be Portland Hopper. Dennis, I want you to be Socrates Mulligan. And Phil, you're Falstaff, the highbrow poet. All right, Mary, let's go. Wait till I get this clothespin on my nose. Where? That's it. Me. That's it. Go ahead, Mary. Start it.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Benny! Mr. Benny!
Well, what is it, Seattle? As the broom said to the dustpan, what do you hear from the mop? I ad-libbed that, folks. I'm always ad-libbing.
Mama says if you don't stop ad-libbing, someday you're going to say something funny and surprise everybody.
Oh, your mother.
Have you got a question for Benny's Boulevard, Mr. Benny?
I certainly have, Seattle, and this is it. Who is the funnier comedian, Jack Benny or Fred Allen? And here we go to Benny's Boulevard to investigate. Well, here we are at Benny's Boulevard.
Is this near Allen's Alley, Mr. Benny?
I can't tell. I've got this clothespin on my nose. Well, let's find out what John Doe has to say.
Oh, it's you again.
Good afternoon. Now tell me, Mr. Doe, do you listen to radio?
Only the commercials. You know what they talk about what they're selling.
Well, what about the show itself that follows the commercial?
Well, by the time that starts, I'm already down at the corner buying the stuff.
I see. Then you wouldn't know who's the funnier comedian, Fred Allen or Jack Benny.
Nah, all I know is D-O.
I see. Now, Seattle. Now, Seattle, we'll see what Mrs. Nussbaum has to say.
No.
Tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, who do you think is the funniest comedian on the radio?
Well, my first husband liked Abbott and Castellanos.
That's Costello.
And my second spouse is liking Fibber, McGee, and Becky.
I see. Well, tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, who is your favorite comedian? Is it Jack Benny?
You should live so long. Are we going home now, Mr. Benny?
What are you holding your nose for?
Shall I tell him, folks?
Seattle, behave yourself. Now to find out what Socrates Mulligan thinks. He lives right here.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mulligan, get this one, folks. Well, Mr. Mulligan, I'm here to stew with you. I'm an ad-libbing fool. Now, Mr. Mulligan, I'm going to name two comedians, and you tell me which one you prefer. First, Fred Allen.
Oh, he makes me laugh.
And what does Jack Benny make you do? Seattle, we're not getting any place.
Try this next house, Mr. Benny.
Okay.
Welcome, friend. Pray do come in. Falstaff's here, and I ain't 10.
You ain't fat either. There I go with another ad-lib. Falstaff, tonight. This thing is killing me up here. Falstaff, tonight. Tonight we have a brand new question for you.
That is precisely why I'm here.
That's precisely. Precisely.
I have written a poem.
That Precisely was right.
Have you heard? This isn't a blackout, Uncle Mo. You bought that hat too big.
No, I haven't.
Or, I've saved the gloves that Mother wore when she knocked out Gunboat Smith.
Now, wait a minute, Falstaff. My question tonight is this. Who do you think is a funnier comedian, Fred Allen or Jack Benny?
Allen is corny. He's nasal, he's dull. Benny's the same with no hair on his skull.
But all that I asked was for you to compare us.
For a socko comedian, just give me Phil Harris.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we wave goodbye to Benny's Boulevard as two pretty waves wave back. This ad-libbing will be the death of me. See what I mean, folks? And now, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, pardon me. And now... Now, ladies, at least I can take it off. Alan can't. And now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a custom on every Camel program which we as guests are proud to observe. This is it. Time to send thanks to the Yanks of the week, Americans who have distinguished themselves for heroism in the battle area.
To the twin brothers, 29-year-old machinist mates, John and Rolla Cordell of Durham, Oklahoma, who have just been cited by the Navy for heroism aboard the carrier Lexington. In the Battle of the Coral Sea, both the Cordell brothers remained far below decks, in the engine room of the fire-swept and explosion-rocked carrier, refusing to leave their posts, remaining in the darkness, smoke, and heat until they were exhausted. We salute you, first-class machinist mates John and Rolla Cordell, and in your honor, the makers of Camels are sending to our Navy men in the South Pacific 300,000 Camel cigarettes.
On each of the 4 Camel shows, we'll salute another Yank of the week, and on each of them send 300,000 camels to men in his battle area. A total of more than 1 million camels sent free each week. Camels thank the Yanks in this country with the 3 traveling Camel Caravans, which since 1941 have given free camels and over 2,000 free performances to audiences of nearly 3 million servicemen.
that was Cabin in the Sky or Something, played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, oh, by the way, Phil, I meant to ask you, were you and your boys playing at the California shipyard over in Wilmington last week?
No, why?
Well, I was passing by there, and I thought I heard... No, I guess they were just riveting. They're very busy there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight...
Oh, say, Mr.
We're going...
What? Can I speak to you a minute?
What is it, Dennis?
Well, I'll probably get slugged for this, but you made a mistake in my check for our last show a week ago Sunday.
A mistake in your check? No. There was no mistake, Dennis. And now...
But you deducted $2.75. What was that for?
Dennis, if you remember, when you sang your song on our program, there was an 8-bar rest right in the middle of it. Any resting my cast does will be strictly on their own time. Sorry, kid.
But that's the way my song was arranged.
I docked the arranger, too. There was no favoritism. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Say, Jack.
What?
Here's $1.50. I'm going to the powder room.
Don't be facetious. That's good there, wasn't it? Don't be facetious. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I started to announce, for our feature attraction tonight, the Benny Take It or Starve players will present an original detective mystery entitled The Case of the Stolen Dog, or Who Picked Mrs. Pike's Peak. Now, Mary, you're going to play the part of Mrs. Pike, who owns a peak.
Is the peak a pup?
No, Mrs. Pope has a pup. You're Pike with a peak.
Has the pooch got a pouch?
No. Now, Don.
Yes, Jack.
I've got you down for the part of a fat butler.
But remember, Jack, I've been on a diet and lost 2 pounds.
That's what I said. You're part of a fat butler. Now, I will play the lead, Police Captain O'Benny of the Homicide Squad. And, Dennis, you're going to be one of my assistants. And you're got to be hard-boiled and calloused and tough like I am.
You tough?
What are you laughing at?
You're the only guy I know who has to break a piece of toast over his knee.
Well, I like it real crisp. And, Phil, you're going to be my other assistant.
But I'm a poet, old boy. Have you heard? I brought Dad his pipe and slippers as they strapped him in the chair.
Now, cut that out. Let's see, we got to have somebody to play the part of Mrs. Pike's chauffeur. I know, Rochester. I'll call my house. Mary, give me that phone.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Number, please.
Hello. Give me Crestview 7071.
Crestview 7071.
Yes.
It may take a little time. I'm a new operator here.
That's all right. It's all right, miss. Give me Crestview 7071.
I tried to get a job driving a bus, but they told me I was a streetcar type.
Well, that's too bad. Get me Crestview 7071.
I got a sister working at Lockheed, but do you think she'd think anything about me?
She might. Why don't you ask her? Look at Crestview 7071, please.
I told her last night at supper, Gertrude, you're a louse.
Look, miss, all I want is Crestview 7071. Now, will you please get it for me?
Okay, Blue Eyes.
Thank you. Fine service. Got a good mind to call up.
Hello?
Hello, Crestview 7071?
No, this is Hempstead, 3853.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
This is Morrow's Fish Market. I'm new here.
Well, look, I want Crestview 7071.
I'm just working here temporary till my wife gets her strength back.
Oh, well, look, thanks just the same. Look, I want to get Crestview 7071.
Seems funny, me in a fish market. Don't tell anybody.
I don't even know you. Morrow's Fish Market. He wishes he wasn't a fish market. Goodbye. Everybody telling me their trouble. Give me that other phone, Mary. I'll dial the number.
Here you are.
Thanks. Hope Rochester's still awake. Said he wasn't feeling well and might go to bed early. Poor fellow, he didn't look good either. Hello? Oh!
Hello, Satchmo. Where are you? The party's in full swing.
What?
Josephine, the whole gang are here. Mr. Benny won't be home till midnight.
I see. Well, Rochester, this is Mr. Benny.
Mr. Jack Benny?
Yes.
Uh-oh, get off my lap, Josephine. I gotta think fast.
Now, Rochester, when I left the house a few hours ago, you told me you had a splitting headache and you were going to bed early. What happened?
It ain't my fault, boss. Some of my friends pulled a surprise party on me for my birthday.
Rochester, your birthday isn't till next month.
Well, we gotta get rolling, don't we?
I see. Well, who all is there?
Well, there's my cousin Sam and his wife.
Uh-huh.
And my friend Sylvester and his sweetheart.
That's 4.
No, 3. This is one of them eternal triangles.
Oh.
Then there's Josephine.
That's your girl.
No, she came with Sam.
I thought you said Sam came with his wife.
That's right.
What's right?
Josephine is Sam's wife.
Now, what is she doing on your lap?
I don't know. Do you want to talk to Sam?
Look, I don't want to talk to anybody. Now, look, Rochester, you lied to me, so that party of yours will have to break up immediately. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Have you heard? Said the candy jam to the Virginia ham. Here comes a fork. I think I'll scram.
Rochester, goodbye.
So long, boss.
Wish they'd stop with those. Have you heard? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our mystery drama will go on immediately after another song by Dennis Day.
Pardon me, Jack. Haven't you forgotten something again?
Oh, of course. What's the matter with me? Go ahead, Ken.
If that new recruit you know writes that they've sent him after dehedral oil and he can't find it, don't try to mail him any because there's no such animal. And that's why they send recruits after it. Just send him a carton of Camels, the cigarette that's first in all the services, according to actual sales records in post exchanges and canteens, where the men spend their own money for cigarettes. You'll like Camels, too. They do have more flavor, and it's that extra flavor that helps Camels to wear well, keep from going flat, no matter how many you smoke.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our mystery drama, The Case of the Stolen Dog, or Cherchez la Wolf. Take it, Don.
The Case of the Stolen Dog, starring Don Wilson as the fat butler whose jolly exterior hides the mean, treacherous heart of a fiend.
That's not it at all.
The scene opens at police headquarters where we find Captain O'Benny playing solitaire. Curtain, music.
Now, let's see. There's the Jack of Clubs. Here's the 7 of Hearts. I'll put the 7 of Hearts on the Jack. No, that would be cheating. Or should I?
Hey, Cap,
Yeah?
what's the idea of playing solitaire with handcuffs on?
I don't trust myself. I need the ace of spades, and it's up my sleeve. Now, let's see.
Is that the phone, Cap?
It ain't these bell-bottom pants. Hello, Captain O'Benny speaking. What's that, miss? You say there's a peeping Tom looking in your bedroom window from across the street? I'll take care of that immediately. Oh, Sergeant Harris. Yes, Chief. Pull down that shade. Now, let's see. The 6 of Hearts goes on the Black King. Oh, I wish I wouldn't do that. But how else can I win? Answer the phone, O'Day.
Yes, sir. Hello?
Now, listen, Lefty. Me and Butch will meet you in back of the First National Bank at 4th and Main in 5 minutes. Bring a hammer and chisel and plenty of dynamite.
You've got the wrong number, mister. This is the police station.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If I see Lefty, I'll tell him. Goodbye.
Who was that, O'Day?
Wrong number. Somebody wanted me to bring dynamite over to the First National Bank.
Well, if you get a chance, you could... Dynamite? That's robbery, you dope. I'll have to warn them. Hello, operator. Give me the First National Bank at the corner of 7th. Never mind. That's the 12th time this year they've blown up the First National Bank.
Once more, and it's bad luck.
Oh, shut up. Now listen, O'Day. I'll take it. Hello, Captain O'Benny speaking.
Hello, Flatfoot. Are you busy right now?
No, why?
This is Mrs. Pike talking. I got a job for you.
What's the trouble, Mrs. Pike?
Well, I sent my dog out to get the paper this morning, and some rundown heel stole him.
Oh, what kind of a dog was he?
A peak.
Where do you live, Mrs. Pike?
On the corner of Polk and Peck.
Fine. Hold everything. I'll be right over.
Well, I'm alone here, so keep those handcuffs on.
Don't worry, madam. We'll be there in a few minutes. And we'll find the crook who stole your dog, or my name ain't...
Calling car 54. Calling car 54. Wipe off your windshield. Someone's stealing your C card. That is all.
Trouble with safety glass. Can't see through them. Step on it, O'Day, and we'll find Mrs. Peck's pook, or my name ain't... This is the house, men. Let's break down the door.
But, Cap, the door's open.
Well, let's close it and then break it down. Right. We're the law.
Good evening, gentlemen. May I take your coats and hatchets?
Who are you?
I'm the fat butler whose jolly exterior hides the mean, treacherous heart of a thief.
You're a butler, that's all. Now, where's Mrs. Pike?
Walk this way, gentlemen.
I wouldn't walk that way if I had 3 feet.
Oh, Captain.
Yes, Harris?
Have you heard? He entered his draft board unafraid because he was chairman there.
Harris, stop it. We got a case to solve.
How about this one? Said Dennis Day to the new toupee, you'll still look young when I'm old and gray.
Now, cut that out. What's the matter with you guys?
This is Mrs. Pike, gentlemen.
How do you do, Mrs. Pike?
Hello, Cap. Let's sit down on the chaise and lounge.
We haven't time for that, Miss Pike. Now, tell me exactly how your dog was stolen.
I told you I sent him out to get the paper.
You always send your dog out to get the paper?
No, I generally send my husband, but this morning he happened to be murdered.
Oh, so the dog went for the paper. Was he excited or anything?
I told you he was murdered.
I mean the dog. Was the dog excited?
No, he just jumped over my husband's body and went for the paper.
Then your husband was lying dead on the doorstep.
Yes, I left a note in his teeth for the milkman.
I see. And if we can find the man who murdered your husband, we've got the dirty rat that stole your dog. Now tell me, Mrs. Pike, is there anything else I should know?
Yes, have you heard? It said the girl with the mug to the Indian thug, let's go steady, and he said, ugh.
Please, Mrs. Pike, I've got work to do. Now, first I'm going to search this house.
Hey, Cap, there's a noise coming from that closet.
Yeah. What's in that closet, Mrs. Pike?
Linen.
Just linen, eh? Well, I'll find out. Just as I thought, a man. What's your name?
Joe Lennon.
Well, start talking, Joe. What do you know?
He just got back from a burlesque.
Quiet, Mrs. Pike. Now, Joe, we got the goods on you, so you might as well come clean.
All right. I'll confess. I did it. I tell you. I wanted to do it for years, and I finally done it.
You done what?
I killed Mrs. Pike's husband.
Husband. Who stole the dog? Was it you?
No, please believe me. I didn't even see the dog. It's her husband I wanted to get, and I got him.
Oh, well, there's no use talking to you. Get back in the closet. Now, Mrs. Pike, are you sure that when your dog went out of the house... What was that?
Look, Cap, someone tossed a rock through the window.
A rock?
And there's a note on it.
Let me have it. This may be a clue. Well, I'll be darned.
What's the matter, Cap?
It's a note from your dog. Get this. Don't think I'm lost, because that is folly. I'm just in love with a great big collie. Signed Fido. Well, that solves the case, men. Let's go.
What about Mrs. Pike's husband?
Shall we arrest Lennon? Yes, he'll go to the laundry for this. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored to give this salute from the makers of camels to the United States Navy But for a while, I was puzzled, too. I asked some of my friends in the Navy what words anyone could say that would stand up to the day-in and day-out Battle of the Atlantic, Macassar Straits, the Coral Sea, Midway, and the Battle of the Solomon. Do you know what they said? They said, send your salute to the men and women on the jackhammers and the drill presses and the turret blades. Tell them that those are their battle stations. There is where they meet the enemy. Don't give us words, the Navy said. Give us ships and planes. Give us guns and shells. There'll be time for words and cheering when victory comes, and our ships are riding in Tokyo Bay. Now there's time for work and only for work. You're doing a great job. Keep it going. That's the kind of Navy you've got, Americans. Let's back them up with everything we have. Thanks and good night.
This was the second in a series of 5 special programs presented by Camel Cigarettes and dedicated to our fighting forces. Tonight, Jack Benny and Company appeared through the courtesy of their sponsors, General Foods, makers of Grape Nuts Flakes. And tonight's script is by Eddie Boulogne and Bobby O'Brien. Climb aboard the Camel Comedy Caravan next Friday in a salute to the United States Coast Guard, starring Rudy Valley, Dorothy Lamour, Victor Borga, Bill Thompson, who is the old-timer on the Fibber, McGee, and Molly program, and the King Sisters. Camel Cigarettes bring you 4 great radio shows each week. Tomorrow night, Bob Hawke in Thanks to the Yanks. On Monday, it's Blondie. Thursday, Gary Moore, Jimmy Durante, and Xavier Cugat. And next Friday, the Camel Comedy Caravan starring Rudy Valley. And remember, Camels have more flavor. Yes, smoke a pack yourself, and you'll see that Camels have more flavor. The extra flavor that helps Camels hold up, keep from going flat, no matter how many you smoke. Get a pack tonight. This is Ken Niles saying good night for Camel Cigarettes. First in the circle.